Alright, kind of an abrupt intro, because we're in the loading screen. Not even previewing the drivers, because really there's only different cars to go over. So, as mentioned in the ending things of Act 18, how this is basically the alliances that have been created in Universe 2. Team Danny, Team Alex, and there's the neutral characters that either join Burn in instigating the war, or are with so fast on ending it as fast as humanly possible, such as the Powerpuff Girls for reasons that have been explained recently. Again, really glad there are no actual Fusion Fall players in my viewership, because they'd probably be screaming at me for it, even though it's, Fusion Fall is basically fucking designed for fanfiction, but I try to avoid that word, but that's just kind of how I imagine it would go, and I can already kind of get angry at it, so... I did not notice this before, but this is actually, this kind of is a joke on how I actually sort of side with Team Danny just based off of their vehicles into some of black. Between Metacog and Danny and Sparky's vehicles being, like, 3 of the best ones in the game. And then we go to Velocity X, where they have 3 of the worst cars in the game, and some of the best cars in the game go to characters that aren't even a part of the war. Like Power Rocket, for example. Who is totally neutral, the driver, which I will not reveal at this moment in time. So we should probably actually skip out of qualifying. But yeah, so this car is kind of like a thematic thing. It's the same design as the vehicles that Gearhead and Metacog drive, but it's on an RX-7, not their 787B. Get some flames! Help this car for that. So here's another cameo I put in. Because X3 wasn't actually supposed to be there... Hang on, I'm in the wrong camera view. I don't want cockpit cam, I just want to change the darn HUD. We have, Battle Rocket. It's, not only is it a pun on Bottle Rocket, I also don't know if this thing is balanced or not. At all. I don't actually know if it is, so... If it is, you'll see this video. If it's not, then fuck. I keep forgetting. I don't mind swearing. It's just when I don't like, want to overdo it. So yeah, this is a double joke here. It's a mixture of Battle Spec and Road Rocket rolled into one character, and they're driving the car that Shadow Mark II is based off of, the Porsche 91730. It has a different spoiler, but that's about it. If you were to look at the front of the car, you would kind of see that idea. I don't really know how we can do that, though. Actually, wait, no. Replay cameras are a thing. Yeah, so like I said, of course, it's a pun on Bottle Rocket. Now it's Battle Rocket, Road Rocket, Battle Spec. Great. Not very helpful. Thank you, cameras. There we go. So yeah, of course, then obviously look at a picture of Shadow Mark II. Also, get some flames. The Mazdas are good for that. I don't know why. The Mazda just always spit fire all of the time. It's also a pretty kind of a cool picture, especially with the weird mystical fire that's moving in a frozen image. So Otto is leading in one of the Saubers, and what's funny is I got this idea for these cars specifically, also, A, because we haven't used them before, also nice wheel product, wheel company, or racing wheel, Fentech makes wheel attachments. There's a few of those, like, there's a GE Force sponsorship somewhere, there's some Logitech, I think, right? Somewhere. I think there's a Thrustmaster car somewhere. one of the missing is, actually, no, they're not missing at all. So anyway, conveniently have three main vehicles in a row here. Otto in the Sauber for neutral team. The Governor is in second on Team Alex in the Porsche 962. And Danny is in third. Danny is in third with a lot of damage for some reason in the Mazda 787B. And Battle Rocket is the ultimate chaotic neutral because he's not in any of those three cars. But I guess he's kind of on the team of Alex because he's in a Porsche still. Also, yeah, this thing has some mad power but does not have the handling to keep up with those main four up there. I was originally going to do a team championship for this one too, and then realized that having Battle Rocket in there really messes that up. So I kind of have to do away with that, but you know. But the other reason I kind of got this idea, and I imagine, yeah, they're probably disappointed right now. Before you can't be disappointed, but was a recent subscriber. You know who you are. I forgot your username. Forgive me on that. I guess I could probably look through my inbox, but they seem to really enjoy Gran Turismo and this car, the Sauber C9. Of course, it's not even a guarantee that person is watching this. Going through these several things in my inbox, mostly of your videos. Oh yeah. So yeah. Oh yeah, that makes sense from the even the number of perspectives. Let's see. Who is it? Oh. Camera, please. So yeah, the Siren X63. Here is your video. Your profile picture is even this car. So if you're someone watching this, here is semi-dedicated to you. It's inspired by you at the very least, because well, I'm more of a 787 guy, but all the Group C cars are pretty nice. Except for the GTZX. That thing can go off itself. So, yeah, and that's So Fast's car, who isn't doing too well. I want to say the C9 may be the weaker of the three models, and the only reason Otto is in the lead is because he's in the lead and might have a small power advantage over the 962. Let's see what they're hitting at the end of the straight here. 171 going into this turn. I know the name, but it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. So I hit 171 going into Blanchimont, as it's called. Let's look at the back of the field. Spark. Okay, no. Okay, well, based on the end of the straightaway, not this here, not here. Can't really get an accurate reading because of the fact that the field is close enough to where I can't tell what he did, and then get to the back of the field and see what everyone else did. Bedlam with the fastest lap of the race. Let's see, end of straightaway. Governor's eating him alive. If he gets 184, that's fitting actually. That's the top speed of oh, hi, number 19. I forgot about that. The Governor has my race. Albeit draft assisted, 962 also got 184. Not me. And I didn't see what the 77 did, but I think it's slower. We can kind of compare that too with going to the kink in the end of the straightaway, at the end of the last straightaway, because if it hits 170 or so, then it's also even. the other Saubers are not having a very good time of it. With that being the only one in points so fast. In 12th, and Grease Lightning and Burn in dead last, and just ahead of dead last. I don't think the 77B can reach 171, not with the damage it has. It gets close, still, even with it. It gets 165-ish. I think it might have a small advantage in cornering. Also, I'm not mentally used to this character at all. Like, I see the bat thing on the side, I'm like, huh? Oh, suddenly Gearhead, who just yoinked Metacog. You guys are teammates. Chill out. Yes, this is kind of the design that's on the RX-7. Which you cannot see from this angle because it's too low to the ground, I think. The same concept except for these are 55 and 56, not 63 like on the RX-7. But there's Alex. I forgot to. I haven't even like put the camera on him before. So far as Sparky in the actual 773 that was kind of more internationally used by Mazda when the car was raced. Just destroyed him in Eau Rouge. I can almost safely say that the 77B does not have the straight line speed of the 962 or the C9. I think actually the 917 is not very far off of them either. I think he probably gets like 190, whereas the 962, 184, 186, and C9, 80, 184. Still haven't managed to see what the 787 does, but I imagine probably like 180, 181. So once again we have the classic spot race, as I'm kind of finding out that this track is also good for this, where there's like a large train of cars right in a row. And no one is even trying to, you know, rectify the fact that they've been stuck in this train for 2.5 laps. They just do not seem to have it in them to do so. And of course, this same design of the 91730 is the one that Captain Falcon drove in Act 5. And I believe he won that act. Okay, you know, the power difference is big because it did 181. Which means this thing might be able to make 192. 185, 186. See if I can move the governor. So, auto verifiably does 184 before breaking through the S-curves there. So we will see now what the 962C of Team Alex can use. Granted, there's also a draft from Auto's car, so it's not the most fair results, but it's the only way I can figure it out. Okay, edge brake 184. That's like, well, with draft 188, but I think without it, it's still hitting like 179, 180. Now we will see what Battle Rocket does. Its worse handling makes it worse born out of Rouge. But yeah, that's a solid 200 mph. Doesn't have the handle. So on Monza, this thing kind of instantly wins. Anywhere else, it's a glass cannon. Oh, and he's been mugged by the 962s. So, and we can't see that because it's kind of weird to me that they even passed him at all. So it's looking like, unless Bedlam does something nutty into the final chicane, that now the governor is kind of winning the race. And the remaining 962s are all in a row. I forgot to mention that Ryan's pretty good in this race. Yeah, kind of like with Alex. He hadn't been relevant yet, because he's not at the front, and he's not, like, so fast is having a really bad time in that car. I guess he's not so fast in this thing. I think even if he wanted to, I don't think Bedlam can do anything from here. Unless you are literally homicidal, you cannot die from that range, so the governor will take Bedlam. Still tried anyway, but Bedlam will take a victory. Danny, you lost to your arch enemy, Otto. How? You fail at being a video game protagonist. Lose. But, Battle Road Rocket Spec Mark II is, I think, going to... My god, he brakes so early. I think he will remain in 5th. Sparky... What in the... Oh my god. What even was that? Oh, she didn't even finish the... No, that's qualifying. I don't know what the heck that was, but, there are not words for this at all. Oh, it's not number 55, it's number 201. Big difference. Yeah, it looks like she just pulled dead right and just stopped. So, yeah, pretty sure we are done here, indeed. And next we have Classic Silverstone. I don't think these cars would have run here, though. Suddenly, T-Rex Rush music is stuck in my head with all of the tracks. Yeah, at least you didn't get the PS2 version of T-Rex Rush, where the entirety of the music is just a basic, like, 2-note guitar riff with a random voice going, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, ah, shut up! The bedroom and the attic is the only place that have any amount of good music in them, treating me mind. Well, So Fast gets another chance at actually redeeming himself with a decent finish this time. As Battle Rocket, this is actually probably a place where he could easily win, especially considering he started up front. He can use his power to get away, so much so that come the corner, 16-year-olds is nowhere close enough to try and pass. At least that would be theoretical. It's not worked out at all, but even if 16-year-olds tries to pass, and then yeah, we'll see you later. And again, I can kind of say he's fair because of the fact that his handling is considerably worse, and man, So Fast, you are not having a great time with that scene. Clearly, it's not a bad car because Otto led for 4 laps with it. It just needs to get ahead, and that's the best way it runs. I think in real life, this is the best performing one of these 4, or these 3. Count. 16-year-old is actually still right there. If you can somehow like, catch him on a mistake, I also like how this car is basically a discount Camel livery, like the cigarette company, but because this game can be marketed towards children, they don't put that there. And so they just kind of make their own rip-off company logos and put them there. Yeah, he gets so much closer to Battle Rocket in the turns. Like that. And then... bye-bye! And Bedlam is coming to provide assistance. Danny attacks so fast, runs into the wall, probably for the second time, judging by the damage he already had before that. And Goose Lightning's in last again. And now that I actually see this car, this thing looks abstract. Yeah, we'll go with abstract. So you're just still right there. And in a qualifying lap would probably be faster. Here comes Bedlam running directly into the wall. Danny with the fastest lap. Now he's right there with these three. This is only helping Battle Rocket. It's not really helping either Porsche or Danny, for that matter. Or any of the three behind them, either. All of the 962s are coming. I think this one might be the best one overall. Okay, you need to stop hitting that, and one of you needs to probably sort out who will attack Battle Rockets, because the other ones are just gonna keep hitting in your own way, and then no one's gonna pass it. Or you can just let Danny decide that for you, and he will take second, and he will take charge. Pun entirely intended, if you look on the back wing of his car, where it has that on it. I don't know what it means, but it's there. Tries to go for the classic KTM maneuver, but he doesn't really have the handling for it. Not enough deficit anyway. He has the handling for it, just not enough. Just not a higher enough rating when compared to the ones in front of him. Of course, the KTMs have so much more handling than their opponents and they're usually against that. It's like a cinch. So fast, and Alex are still right there with the group, but Governor kind of fell back a little. Metacog took over his place, and I think Governor probably hit a wall while trying to pass maybe Alex or something. Alex is so fast, obviously couldn't beat him pass. Speaking of Alex, now he's trying to pass so fast. So fast, he's doing better. I don't really know if that's saying all that much. But even still, he's not doing great. He's now down to 7th. Metacog just ran into him. Bumps off the wall and ran into him so fast. I'm surprised he kept that straight. He was like pinballed off the wall, and he's still in definitely a pinball pursuit, if you will. Making Hot Wheels references left and right. Have a lap to go, and 16 Year-Olds of Bedlam are still in a piss measuring contest. One of us. Yeah, because of this too, I just realized all 4 of the Golden Touch Ride drivers are in the same race. 16 Angels, Governor, Bedlam. No, wait, Soupy Doo's not here. I'm dumb. And this one, is he even a Golden Touch Ride member? I feel like Slingshot is more of one than he is still. It's because of how little Swoopy Doo does anything. He's never around, and if he is, it's not even in the important events. Yeah, I guess he was technically and beat that, but he had like one of the worst cars in the game. Yeah, this is a giant train and or cluster fest. And, Six Needles, I think, will end up getting the better of Bedlam in this contest. Unless Bedlam goes for the KTM maneuver, which he does try, but absolutely fails miserably. And Battle Rocket, despite his, not insufficiencies of the handling variety, does manage to win the race. Now we go to a track we have not used in forever. Vallelunga, as I've found out it's pronounced, not Vallelunga. Vallelunga, classic track, which I can't really tell you what the main difference between this and the modern version is, outside of, like, a couple of, like, missing runoffs that were, like, you know, different material, like, you know, AstroTurf instead of grass. Or sand. I think they took a couple of corners out in the class, in between the classic and this version, so there's, like, you know, 2 fewer corners here than we would be doing in the modern version, but I figured we'd hit all of the classic tracks because of the fact that, well, Group C is something from the 80s. Granted, Spa, that version of Spa, these cars would never have raced on, but they did race on Spa. It was just because that track has actually got a very long history, going back to the 60s, I believe, at the very least. But they never put the classic track on this game by default like they did for Monza, so this track, Silverstone, and... well, that's it. Well, I guess Battle Rocket's just gotten his comeuppance, because now he's starting in last. No fire? Okay. You see, you don't want to get some flames. Oh, well, that just out of here. I forget what number Danny's car is. Oh, gee whiz, what has happened here? Well, it's time to see who the heck just caused that mess. Not even in the grid slots. Really, guys? That looks nutty as hell. Oh my god! Who caused this? Oh, Alex caused it. He got into Grease Lightning there. Let's go down to... whoa! Whoa! He's not gonna get away with this! Big man reference. Yeah, he got on the curb, ran into Grease Lightning. Grease Lightning almost saved it, and then he ran into him again. Spun and blocked literally every other C9, pretty much. So yeah, I can't imagine the subscriber is too proud of his brethren right now. However, there is one leading the race, however, though, so not all is, you know, grim, but yeah. Yeah, this is not their best moment, to say the least. Also, Angels is, yeah, right here. And Burns finally figured out where the gas is, so he's on his way. Or no, that's not Burn. Finally, the scene. Grease Lightning, please. I get that I'm not entirely sure what it was that being in that contraption did to your brain, but seriously? Okay, Grease Lightning, if he even continues, he might get lapped. I think he's trying to continue, but he just kind of can't seem to find the gas? Yeah, he's been lapped. Just don't block the track, for crying out loud. Yeah, you finally realize he's not going anywhere. Well, that was eventful, to say the least. I don't think that anyone will be getting lapped. 16 Angels is the only one that's in any real danger of it. He's got a couple of turns in between him and the lead cars. Well, he has one right now. Well, that's showing why he used to be a Golden Tetrad member. Sparky is has a rare occurrence here of actually good performance. Gearhead is following that up, and then it's basically every Porsche in a row. And everyone's also very spread out. Probably from the thing that happened in the first turn. As Danny with the fastest lap, you know, in 8th. Then gets all the... Okay, no, that is all the starting grid. But like, actually it's not, too. Because of the fact that of what happened on lap 1. That lost them like almost 20 seconds. It lost them like almost 40 from lap 1's perspective. Well, the points finishes are basically already determined. I don't think that's even remotely going to change. Yes, he is there in turn 2. 16 Angels is caught burn. What that would be worth, which is honestly not all that much. It's worth 0 points. And honestly, trying to pass him, unless you do it right away, is just going to slow you down more. Unless you want to get, well, actually no, I don't think they're going to be either way, because they only have 1 more lap to complete, and it's still like another 10-12 seconds in between the two of them. Between that and 16 Angels. Sparky made had a thought about it, but just didn't, you know, act. Metacog with the fastest lap, hello? Denny has caught the lead train of cars. And these things make a noise, I'm telling you. Yeah, rotary engine would have a very select number of race cars to use it. Here would be another example of a car that even does it all. The RX-7 here. Still the wrong camera. It's way too close for me. Danny is in the lead car pack right now, but there's no more time left in the race, so he can't gain positions from it. He's just kind of there. So that wins. Sparky with second. I don't... I just kind of don't know what to say about how or why. I know that's the reasoning. She started in third. That's just the... You heard let her by or had the worst line going to the first set of corners. The only plausible reasoning that anyone could come up with, the only plausible reasoning that anybody could come up with is that, and only that. Basically. Because Sparky, I'm surprised you can even keep this car on the road. imagine the difference in power in between two cars is enough that they would probably try a pass like that and out of that hairpin. So yeah, Metacog, the guy in 12th, is the one with the fastest lap of the race, somehow. And that is the episode. Bedlam is leading points by 3. Battle Rocket and Governor are tied for second, 3 away from him, and then it's another 6 back to Danny, who's 4th in points. No one else has really been all that consistently good. Granted, that win was the only source of that points in this championship so far, and Burn and Grease Lightning, 2 Sours, have yet to score. And even on top of that, the first car that has scored is So Fast, and that's also a Sauber, so they took up the 3 bottom places. Saubers, C9s do, and then the leading one is 6th in points, tied for it anyway, as with that. And Otto has 13. Otto with 13 is the only other one that's, existent. So I wouldn't even give my, retrospect on this series in Act 20 anywhere, or like at the end of that, like some sort of like long talk. I do have, I guess you'd call it Act 21. I would just call it Act 0. Because it's, what it ended up being is it's going to be, mainly characters that are, none of them are Hot Wheels characters. It's just a couple of races to put in the background, probably like 4 or 5. And I don't even think the cars would be very balanced with each other, because it would be like the theoretical car that the character would drive. But it would basically be a lot of characters, most of which who either did 1 or 0 acts. So either a character that I did once, for example, Hypermite, who appeared in 1 act and they had like the worst car in it. Same with Muscle Tone, who's only done like 1 or 2. No, just 1. He took Race Cam's Mustang and did better than Race Cam did with it against most of the same opponents. Yeah, they would be in there, for example, or, well, I think the main additions like myself, Madison, and Carbon would be in there. Might have the henchmen, I don't know, that, like, those one-off characters that appeared in Act 9. But the rest of those other characters, besides maybe, like, the one who wins Act 20, or, yeah, Act 20, will probably be characters that were thought of and cut out. As I've kind of run around the idea of that being a thing at one point of, like, there have been characters I thought about, but I didn't put in for various reasons. Of course, then some of them ended up getting their chance to shine when they appeared in the cartoon circuit. Like, Timmy Turner, Jimmy Neutron, the real Danny, not the one from Hot Wheels. His name isn't Danny normally, his name is Max. Max Justice. I don't know. That was supposed to kind of be Otto, but it just did not at all work that way. And instead it just sounded like a very tired version of myself. Which, I mean, I've been yawning, but I'm really not all that tired. I swear. Okay. That one was just because I said the word yawn. It's like the waterfall effect. Look at a waterfall or falling water in general, and you have to use the bathroom. It's kind of like that. There's probably an actual name for it. I couldn't tell you what it is, though. Yeah, so then characters like, those characters, the Nickelodeon characters, Phineas and Ferb characters, which ended up in Wreck-It Ralph and Vanellope were there too. Vanellope ended up appearing again. So she wouldn't be there. Ralph maybe, but I don't think so. The only reason Vanellope appeared was just because of the fact that she kind of worked because she was like an actual racing character, similarly to why Captain Falcon's appeared so many times. Even though I've never actually played F-Zero before, I know I've watched a lot of videos on the games, and I wish I could play them, but I cannot bother to do an emulator because I can hardly figure out how a capture card works. Sure, I don't even have one yet. When I get it, I'm probably going to just kind of stare at it and wonder how. And honestly, at this point, that's even assuming that I do. So, you know. Essentially, if it rolls around to be like mid-April and I don't have anything referring to it at all, whether that be the capture card or if I don't have videos up or anything like that, then that's when it's probably safe to assume that it will not be happening, and I've just been making a bunch of empty promises this entire time. And I'll probably have to try and find some way to get those things recorded on other games, namely the Velocity Wars. Everything else is kind of meh, but I feel like if I'm going to have a precursor to something, I have to actually have the real thing. This isn't Jak and Daxter. So I think I've kind of made so many empty promises that I at least need to have that one in there. But anyway. But yeah, so like some other characters, like, you know, Phineas and Ferb characters, they got their way into the cartoon circuit. There are actually 2 new characters planned to make their sole event, or make their sole appearance in Act 20. I don't think they'll be showing up in Act 21 or Act 0, however, because of the fact that they kind of appeared in the prominent one. And so yeah, during those races in the background would probably be when I would give the retrospective of Universe 0. Which has been, you know, I'm not going to actually start explaining it because that's not what this is here for. This is to continue the racing. I probably could have done most of this race that I'm highlighting by now, but, like, I didn't. And this is basically the end of it now, so before I get that idea in my head, and I'm not going to be recording 2 in a row, I am going to depart. And next episode, I don't know when it is. That's when I'm starting Time Loop for real. Definitely the day after Universe 0 is over. If not, probably like the night I record the retrospective. Then I'll probably, like, assuming that doesn't take 45 minutes or so, then I will probably go ahead and do the first 2 episodes of Time Loop at a 20-minute race with a different character that is not Alex, but probably still at Red Bull Ring, which gets somewhere in this championship. Or, no, it is not. Alright, well. Yeah, no, it just blatantly isn't. Guess, Valunga kicked it out, technically. I guess before Red Bull Ring didn't really exist in the 80s. It existed, but it wasn't even called Red Bull Ring. I think it was called the A1 Ring. Which is a weirder name, to say the least. And with actually randomized conditions and such, it'll go from day to night back to morning again. Probably a slightly larger grid, maybe 10 or 12. I think no, it was 10 before, so probably just do 10 again. Ideally, I could just keep resetting the race until I get an opponent that's driving one of the other cars. Oh, actually no, I can't really do that. I have another plan in mind, but I can't really. Doing it would kind of have to come before I started the real thing. So, but yeah, so at least for this is over, and that is a bridge we'll cross when I reach the toll booth.